Hi everybody, welcome to the virtual art room again with Miss Hope. Today we're going to be doing an assignment called Abstract Name Design. So we're going to be learning about a couple different ways to write our name, and then we're going to be cutting it up and rearranging it into an abstract design and gluing it onto another sheet of paper. Do you guys remember what that's called? We talked about it last lesson. It's a collage. So remember, in a collage you need a base paper and you need things to glue on top of that base paper. So in this case, your base paper is going to be a colored piece of construction paper, whatever color you like, and what you're going to be gluing on top of it is your name that you're going to design in markers or crayons or colored pencils on another sheet of paper, like just a plain white piece of copy paper, and we're going to be cutting that up into smaller pieces and then rearranging it, kind of like putting a puzzle together backwards, something like that. And you'll see, because it's going to be a really fun assignment, but you just have to know up front that you are going to be cutting it up. So if you do a really cool name and you're like, oh, now I have to cut it up, yep, that's part of the assignment. Okay, so in a minute or two I'm going to show you, or I'm going to go to the overhead camera and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing so you can follow along with me. But here are the supplies that you need to have ready, and they're listed in the Google Classroom and the Schoology site, so you can just go ahead and look at them and figure out, it's all written down, and just go grab your stuff, and when you're ready you can watch the video and do the assignment with me. So you're going to need a bottle of glue or glue stick, you're going to need a scissor, you're going to need a sheet or a couple sheets of white copy paper. You're going to be practicing first doing block style and bubble style letters, so you're going to want to practice on scrap paper first, or your sketchbook, whatever you have. So you're going to need a few sheets of white paper, white copy paper. You're going to need a colored piece of construction paper, whatever color you like, and you're going to need markers, crayons, colored pencils, things like that to color with. You can use a mixture of both. You don't have to, of all of them, you don't have to use just markers or just crayons. You can use markers and crayons, colored pencils and markers, whatever you want to do. Okay? Anything else that we need today? No, a pencil and an eraser probably would be helpful too while you're practicing. All right, so we're going to meet me back down here on the table, and here we go. Okay, so here's my white sheet of paper. First, we're going to talk about block letters and bubble letters. So what I want you to do is, on your white paper, I want you to write your name just in regular, like right in the middle here, the way you would do it when you were practicing learning how to spell your name. So my name is Hope, H-O-P-E. My E is a little bit smushed over there, but that's okay. You're going to see it, and we're just practicing right now, so you're going to make some mistakes, and that's okay. All right, to do a block style, so this is block style we're going to do. What you're going to do just to practice is you're going to form these shapes with lines around the lines that you already drew for your name. So you're going to thicken that up a little bit by going around your lines that you just drew with more lines. You see how? Okay, and in a minute I'm going to erase these lines here so you're not even going to see those. And then for the O, I'm going to, instead of rounding it, making it round, I'm going to square it. Okay, I'm actually going to leave that O right in the middle there because I like the way that turns out. And then the P, same thing. Just going to go around. And then an E, same thing. Now some of you have really long names, so that's why you're going to practice a couple times on your paper until you get the hang of it. And I'm going to show you another way to do it. Now I'm going to take my eraser, and I'm going to erase. You can actually leave the lines. That's part of, that would probably add to the design effect and make it really cool. So you can leave those lines, but for the future when you're doing block lettering, you're going to want to erase those lines inside. This one I'm going to leave the way that it is because I think it's kind of cool looking that way. My eraser is going haywire on me. Now for this one, I'm just going to erase the tail of the P, because that right there serves as the opening for the P. Writing your name the way that the first time I wrote it, just kind of helps provide a foundation for you to know where to draw around. Okay, see now we have block letters. Okay, but here's another way to do block letters. You can just go right into it if you want to, and just imagine blocks being squares. Think of blocks that you play with or Legos. They're square, so you're going to want to remember to keep squaring things. You're going to make things, instead of round and curvy, you're going to make things angled and square like that. See, these are called angles right here. Okay, and now I can do a circular O if I want to, but I'm going to make it more boxy just because it's fun. You can do it like that. When you get confident, however you're practicing, go ahead and go for it, okay? So there's that. Now that's block. Now we're going to do bubble. Same way. You're going to write your name. Leave yourself some space in between your letters so that you have space to draw around, okay? I'm doing all capital letters, but you can do lowercase letters. You can do a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters. Now with bubble, this is bubble. Okay, so think about the difference between blocks and bubbles, right? Blocks are going to be squared off like we just did. Bubbles are what? They're round. They're circular. So you're going to trace around your name in a more circular style, like a balloon. Think of a balloon. It's okay if you make some mistakes. I want to make that a little bit fatter. That's fine. So with this one, I'm not going to go around the outside on this one. I'm just going to add like a little circle in the middle, but you can do it. Let me just show it to you just so you know how to do it. You just follow that around. You just make that O extended and thicker. Oops, sorry, I hit my camera. Same thing with the P. Think of balloon animals, right? When you get to see someone blowing up balloon animals, right? They go from this little, like this little deflated balloon to like blown up like that, right? That's what you're doing. You're blowing up your letters by rounding them like that. You see? Now you're going to do the same thing. You can go ahead and erase the inside. So try to remember to draw lightly. Or, like I said, you can go ahead and leave those lines the way that they are, just for fun. P again, I'm going to erase the tail and leave that circle in the middle. My eraser is not cooperating today for some reason. Okay, so now this is your bubble style. Alright, so now you choose which style you want to use, okay? And then when you're ready, after you've practiced for a few minutes and you feel ready and confident, you can go ahead and choose the style that you want to do your name in. Now, very important that you understand, if you write your name tiny like this, you're going to be cutting all this paper and it's just going to be white paper. But if you do your name so where it takes up most of the paper, the effect is going to be a lot cooler. And it doesn't, like I said before, you're going to be cutting this. So if you make a few mistakes on it, not a big deal. You're going to be cutting it all up anyway. I'm making my letters different sizes. Okay? And now in here, in this negative space is called, that means there's nothing there. I can, if I want to, I can go ahead and draw just to add color and shape, but you know what? Remember, it's going to be cut up. So it's just going to add to a cool effect though. You'll see when it's done what I mean. I'm going to leave that alone now. Okay. Now, this is the fun part. You get to take your markers and you get to design. So you can outline your letters. You can do some pattern work on the inside. What does a pattern mean? What is a pattern, you guys? Pattern is a repeating object or design. Could be shape, could be a number, could be a color pattern. It's up to you. Could be dots, could be lines inside, could be red, orange, yellow, could be whatever you want. I'm going to actually outline my stars in blue too. Blue is my favorite color. I'm going to use that as my outline color. And then I'm going to do some patterns. So I'm going to do like stripes. Don't get invested in making this a perfect project because you're going to chop it up in a few minutes and glue it onto another piece of paper, your construction paper. So I'm doing pink lines in there. I'm going to add some purple. My pattern is lines in this letter. And you're just going to think about how you want to design the rest of it. Now, if I were slowing down and doing this really slow, this lesson would be a really long lesson. So I'm kind of going quickly. But you guys can pause, take your time, and come back to it. If you've got some stamps at home, you can stamp it if you want to. Add some cool designs to it, color. If you have crayons and colored pencil. I would say you don't need paint for this one. This is just a easy material project. One in here with some yellow. And I posted all of the assignment process rules and materials on the website, so you guys just need to look there if you forget what supplies you need. I'm gonna do like swirls for this. We're gonna get to the really fun part soon, guys. Just bear with me here. Keep going. Let's get purple. I like green and purple together because those are the colors of the Incredible Hulk. So I like to add purple and green together as much as I can. I'm going to color my star in this like neon orange. Oh, that's not neon. It tricked me. I thought it was neon. Neatness here is not important as much as exploding the paper with color. That's more important. I know I did lines already, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do, in art we call it cross-hatching. It's when you make a set of lines and then use another set of lines going the opposite way to cross over, like a basket or a weaving. I'm going to add some minty green here. More lines. Luckily I have a short name, so I won't be here too much longer. Okay, and then I'm going to add one more light blue. Sorry, keep bumping my camera. I'm sorry, guys. Don't mean to shake. I'll have to work on getting this camera to stay still for me. Okay. And I'm going to use this light blue for my E. Almost done. I'm going to do big circles. Circles are my favorite shape. I don't know why, I just like them. I think polka dots. You can color your letters in solid, but the more pattern and more color you use, the more fun this is going to turn out. And then what's going to be really fun is after you're done with your project, go take it to somebody to show them and ask them if they can figure out what it is. Don't tell them right away. See if they can guess if it's your name. If it looks like your name at the end. Shouldn't. Okay, and I'm going to use this pink to color in my other star up here. Okay, now I'm all colored in. Put my markers away. If you want to add some color to the background, you can too. It might be fun to just add. You can dot with your marker. It's a super fast and easy way to get some color onto your paper. You guys, the benefit of being home and doing art as opposed to being in the art room with me or me coming to your classroom is that you can take your time. You're not governed by the clock and how long art class is. So you can take as much as you need to make your project here. You can even stop in the middle, leave it. Hopefully you have an area where you can do artwork and it doesn't have to get cleaned up right away. Maybe there's a spot in your house where you can ask for permission to set up a small table or a place in your room or the kitchen table or something where if you don't finish, you can leave it. See if maybe there's a spot like that in your house someplace where you can work. All right, now, here we go. So, now I'm going to take I'm going to go back overhead for a second here so you can see what okay. So now I've got my picture. Now I'm going to cut it. So I want you guys to I'm going to adjust my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Actually, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. I'll show you in just a second. I just cut the first letter. Okay? And now I'm going to go back overhead so you can see better. I'm going to cut that into pieces. And you can have some fun with this. You can cut, if you've got those fun scissors that have different edges. I don't have them in here right now. See? Cut like a jagged edge. You can cut it into big shapes. Keep cutting until you get to the end of your paper. Now, you can do this with really any design. You don't have to write your name to make this project, but I just thought it's a good way to practice lettering styles. That's a thing in art. You become someone interested in graphic design, you're definitely going to need to know about fonts and lettering styles. These I'm going to leave a little longer, but cut those up and almost ready to glue. Okay, so now my construction paper. Alright, here's my base. This is a construction paper. Remember we talked about that for collage, right? So I'm just going to start with, now you can spend time arranging these if you want to. You may run out of space. You cut up all of your pieces. You may need to leave a few off depending on how you rearrange it. Because remember, a regular sheet of paper, let me take this off here. The white copy paper, if it were right on top, glued right on top of the construction paper, would fit with a little bit of space around the border, right? Now we're cutting this up and we're rearranging it. So it's going to go into all these spaces that you see here that are blank. Now we're going to be able to glue right up to the very edge of the construction paper. So you may run out of space. You may have enough space. I'm just going to start gluing. I used a little too much glue. I went against my rule of dot, dot, dot. So try to remember to go, I think I just got excited about starting it. Just go dot, 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 dot. If you've got a glue stick, that might work better for this project. And I'm just going to play around. Look, this is where the fun comes in. You guys can stick things wherever you want. Just don't stick them back together the way they were, because you want it to look like a puzzle that you can't figure out. That's the whole abstract part of it. Abstract, I defined it for you. It basically means that you're using colors and lines to create an image or picture, but it's not supposed to really look like anything real that you've ever seen. That's why it's an abstract. Abstract is kind of like lets you just look at it and think about what you think it means. Kind of challenges your brain without forcing you to understand what it is that you're looking at. It's just fun. Colors and lines and forms and shapes. And you're going to just keep going until you've used up all or as many pieces as you have. That's why you're going to use colors that you really like, because this is going to be so interesting to look at when you're done. You may actually want to put it into a frame and hang it up. It's going to be funky. You can turn things around into maybe I want it like that. If you don't put too much glue on, you can kind of rearrange it a little bit, but remember what I said the other day about glue. You don't want to keep playing with glue too much. You don't want to, see if I put it like that. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Even though it came from the same place, it's rearranged, so it's not in the same position it was when I drew it. And you got to do some thinking here, because you're trying to fit things into spots that you're creating yourself, so think about where things, the best use of your space. I just stuck a little piece into a big spot. I probably could have used that spot a little bit better, but it's okay. And if I end up with some pieces left over at the end that don't go anywhere, I can either save them for another project someday or throw them away. But here's what's really cool. Working at home, you guys can save materials that you don't use, or things that you cut up, or extra things. Like last week in the collage, it's too late to tell you now, but what you could do is, if you end up cutting things out for your collage and you don't use them, put them into like a little Ziploc bag and save them for other work that we're going to do, because we are going to do other collages. You may want to go back and check out what you already cut out, see if it's useful. I have so many bags at home of little pieces of paper and colored things that I painted or cut out from somewhere that I'm going to use for something someday. Sometimes I have too much, so I have to make decisions about what to keep and what to get rid of. I don't think I'm going to be able to use all of my pieces, because I still have a bunch left over here, but I'm going to also look to balance my collage, because I don't want too many of these color, let's say. I've got a bunch of these left. I want more things like that have this plaid in it to share on my page here, just to balance it out. I got some really cool designs right here, little dots that I like. Okay. And I'm almost at the end here. I still have a bunch more pieces. Now I have space right here. I'm gonna go ahead. This piece is too big, and I'm just gonna cut it and use half like that. And I want to take a little bit of this design and bring it up here. So I'm going to take this piece right here and I'm going to cut it in half. Now I have a smaller piece. Stick it like that. Okay. So now, this does not look like my name anymore, does it? Nope. But it's really cool. It's really funky, right? So this is what you guys get to make. You guys get to decide how you want to do this and make this project all your own. So when you're done, hold on. When you're all done with your project, make sure that you take a picture of it and upload it to the site so that I can see what you guys made, and let's see how it turns out, okay? So have fun with this. Remember, you can go back and replay the video anytime you want. If you missed a step or if you're confused, go back and listen to it again, watch what I did again, and just kind of make this your own. And if there's any problems, send me a chat or an email, and I'll comment in the chat or an email and just let me know. But otherwise, I can't wait to see. This project is not due until September 4th. I know your collage is also due that day, so you've got 2 art assignments for this first 2 weeks of school, okay? And then there'll be 1 after that. So I can't wait to see what you guys make, and I'll see you soon. Bye.